Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. Today is Sunday, February 15th. How's it going? My name is Angela. I am a front-end developer and software engineer in St. Paul, Minnesota. If you've been here before, you know the drill. You know me. I've been here for a while now. Front-end developer, software engineer on this channel. Pretty much all HTML, vanilla, CSS, vanilla JavaScript, because that is what I really enjoy practicing. So that's what we do here. How's it going? Did we all survive Valentine's Day? I did. I have a little bit of a tummy. My tummy hurts a little this morning because I overindulged in some of my snackies last night. It was a great night. I have no regrets, but we'll see how far we get today. I'm here. I survived. So I don't want to cancel any more live streams either. I think I had to cancel 3 lives already for the first half of February with a sick dog. So I am going to power through for you and for me, for all of us. So Malik Robinson is here. Hello, welcome. Monique Robinson is also here. Welcome, Monique. Monique and Malik, not related, just a coincidence. Mods in the chat. Rayhan is also here. Hello, Rayhan. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, I don't have anything pulled up. Okay, let's see here. Let's get all the stuff pulled up. Let's get all the stuff pulled up. I forgot it was even Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's not at the top of my mind generally either. I don't think too hard about it. But I think because it landed on a Saturday, it was all over the Instagrams yesterday. A lot of lonely people in the world. This is an observation that I've made I feel like I feel silly saying this, but it's kind of true. I'm not new to Instagram. I've been on Instagram for 14 years, but I've not been a real regular user of Instagram. And now that I have developed this very bad habit of doom scrolling on Reels, which by the way, I love. I mean, it's a bad habit, but I love it. I've made, and maybe this is just what the algorithm is showing me. There's a lot of really lonely people in the world. Just looking for love, looking for connection. It's sad, but it's also heartwarming in the same. I don't know how to express how I feel about what I'm seeing sometimes on social media. I think the best way to put it is that I just see a lot of people looking to make a connection, and it can be heartbreaking sometimes to see some of the people that are posting that are expressing their loneliness. It's not that they look lonely or they look sad. It's that they are expressing their loneliness or their sadness. And it is heartbreaking sometimes to watch. And I think Valentine's Day amplified that. I mean, it really amplified that. So, and you know what? That's okay if you've never had a Valentine. Never had a Valentine's Day. I'm almost 22. Well, it's okay. I mean, listen, I have had Valentines. Most of my Valentine's Days, I have not had a Valentine, but I have had Valentine's Days with a Valentine, and they're both fine. There are still 364 days out of the year besides that one, right? So, your life is what you choose to make of it, right? We can all choose how we want to live, what we think is important, and everything in time. Everything in time. It's okay. It's okay. We're all okay. So, okay. Here we are. So I had too many snacks last night. That's not good. Don't do that. Don't do that. Although sometimes you gotta do it, right? Sometimes you just need the snacks. That's what I did last night. I don't have any regrets, except that I have a little bit of a tummy ache this morning. but that's okay. Okay, here we are. Here is our Scenic website. It's turning out great. I could noodle around on this home page forever. We got to stop though. We got to stop. We got to say it's done. What did I say yesterday? And I fully believe this. Perfect is the enemy of done. It's never going to be perfect. It is going to be done. Life is so unfair. People never choose the good ones. Well, should we talk about this for a second? This is such an interesting comment. I don't think that life is unfair. I mean, I think there are some things that I think you can be lucky, but I also think that life is a combination of maybe a little bit of luck and a little bit of hard work. So people never choose the good ones. I mean, it's not about choosing the bad ones or never choosing the good ones. You don't know who you're choosing initially, right? You got to start someplace, and it's a learning. Just like you learn development, you don't start developing because you automatically know it. You start it in order to learn it. I think getting to know people and being in relationships is the same. You don't know what you're getting into when you start. You don't know what you're getting into when you initially choose that person. You have to learn about that person and figure out if it's the right match, right? So, and you sometimes do have to choose the bad ones in order to find the good ones. It's called like learning and maturity and like life experience, right? So, Rayhan, you're young, 22. Wow, you're really young. Listen, don't worry about whether it's a good one or a bad one. Just start making choices. Just jump in there. Get busy. Start figuring people out. You're never going to know how to choose a good one until you've had a couple of really shitty ones. That's life experience. It's okay. So just go for it, buddy. Just go for it. I'm the last person in the world to give people advice on love and relationships. So, and Malik says, nothing is truly fair. That's why we all have differences, and free choice is better than knowing the perfect choice. I mean, I don't really think fair has anything to do with it, because I think some things you just simply don't control, but you actually have more control over your life than I think that you think you do. And I don't mean you, Malik, but I mean collective you or collective we. We all have far more control than I think we do. But also, it's a little bit of luck. So, I don't know. Fair is a strange word to me. I don't use fair very often because it doesn't, I don't know, it like just doesn't work for me. Because if I'm failing, it's usually my fault. I'm usually the reason that something's not working out. And I just have to make a change. So, I don't know. I'm the wrong person for this type of advice. Why did I even start talking about this? Valentine's Day. I think that's the reason why. So, okay, should we get back to the code, which is the thing that I actually kind of sort of know how to talk about? I can't click this button, and it's because we put the pseudo class here in order to do the border. So we just need to do pointer events none, and then we'll be able to click our button again. So that's the only thing that I'm going to do to the home page right here. Hang in there, folks. We're all in this together. It's called the human condition. It isn't easy for anybody. There we go. There's our button. Okay, that's the only thing that I'm going to do to the home page. I'm not sold on these styles. If I had spent a little more time on it and put a little more thought into it, I would maybe be able to find a better solution. But I think this is fine for now. Yeah, I think this is fine for now. So what I really want to work on today is we need to finish. Well, we got our sharing buttons all working yesterday. So we can share to Facebook, X, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and email. And I did get the email. We did a test email. It took a couple minutes, but it did go through. And I want to make these dynamic, where we're grabbing the URL. So in this case, it would be just an endpoint of blog. But presumably this would be a template, or maybe you would build it out in a CMS or a WordPress theme, something where you would have multiple blog pages, and you would want to use some JavaScript to dynamically grab that URL and dynamically make these buttons. So I want to do that today. But first, let's get our print button wired up. And we did this before. We did a project last fall. It was called, I thought it was going to be like a smashing success. This project, when I released the project video, nobody watched it, which is fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. I just thought it was going to be far more popular than it actually was. So this is we did this 1-page resume layout with a print button. So I don't remember how to do that. So let's look at the JavaScript. Look how simple this is. It's wild. Right here. All we have to do is an event listener on click window.print. That's crazy. And then we can write some media queries, some print media queries. Let's look at those. I just remember having so much fun working on this. Here it is, at media print. So we do a lot. We changed the font on the body to be like a pretty basic stack. Okay, so we've got this optional to avoid breaking sections. That's fair. Oh, but we commented it out. And then, yeah, footer display none. This doesn't really have a header, but this does. So we're literally going to hide the header, the footer, this sharing section, and just make sure that this looks good. I mean, this already looks pretty decent, so we might change the width of this container. But let's make sure that when we click this button, we are triggering that print window. And then we can do a couple of print media queries. Okay, let's see here. Oh, we're on the wrong page. We need the blog page. Which is right here. So I think we want to put a class in here, maybe that just is print. We can do print icon, so we can target this a little bit easier. print equals document query selector and then if print, oops, print add event listener, click window.print, right? Did I actually just do that without needing to look at anything? Here's another thing about Valentine's Day. Now that we're on the topic, I don't need flowers. I don't need candy. I don't need poetry. Tell me I'm good at JavaScript. That is the way to my heart. Just tell me I'm good at JavaScript, even though I'm not. Okay, so let's see if this triggers the button. No. I think we have to... Oh, print icon. Hang on. Yeah. Document query selector, print icon, if print. Window, print. Let's see what's happening in the console. I know we have JavaScript. Our JavaScript's loaded. Yeah, print is there. Oh, do we have to do like a prevent default? Because it's a link and the other one was a button, right? I don't know if that matters. It's on an anchor element. Oh, maybe this needs to be a button. This probably can't be a link. It needs to be a button because a link is for navigation. Okay, so let's change this. That's cool. And I think we want to say type equals button. And I think our styles are okay because we're pretty good about print icon. I don't think we need this because it's an anchor element. Is this not supposed to be? What am I missing? Yeah. Okay, well. do it on click, right? Oh, do we have something else called print icon? No. How many selections? Oh, 10 selected. Maybe that's why. What else is called print icon here? What? No. Hang on. No, there's one. Why does it say 10 selected? So if there isn't anything else, what is happening here? How come every time I click that, oh, do we? Yeah. Are you double running it? You are running it inside the function and at the DOM content loaded. Yeah. It's not running here. Okay. I'm forced to ask ChatGPT for help because the simplest thing in the world isn't working. Sure. Why the console log doubles every time I click the button. You're stacking event listeners. That print function runs every time you call it, and each run does. Oh, maybe. Does this not need to be inside? Oh. Print button. There we go. It was my fault. It was my fault. So are you double running it? You are running it inside the function and at the DOM content loaded. Yes, I was definitely doing something wrong. So I had it named. I had it named incorrectly. So I had the function and the variable named the same thing. So there we are. Okay. Now we're correctly. We have the correct number of clicks. So, does this need to be outside? And then I bet there we go. Okay. Okay. And Rahul is here. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, eventually. You got to make mistakes in order to learn, right? And no one is also here. He says, I agree that life is unfair, but some dreams are sold by marketing teams, movies, and societies. That's true. I mean, I think that that's a fair assessment. It's it's a good idea to not spend too much time on social media. That's for sure. I mean, can I tell you guys, I thank God every day that I didn't get introduced to social media until I was in my late 30s. The fact that I made it all the way through my teen years, my 20s, into my late 30s without being on social media is an absolute blessing. Just an absolute blessing that I didn't have to be, and that I've spent the majority of my adult life not really spending a lot of time on social media, because I think you have to have an enormous amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not self-awareness. I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I have a sense of self. I have a strong sense of self that has equipped me for what I see on social media. So I feel like I can enjoy social media and get a lot out of it without it having really impact my life in a way where I feel like I'm being sold something. I have a good sense of self. I'm not immune to all of the BS on social media, but I have enough of a sense of self that I can put it down, and I understand that that's not real life, and it makes it easier to enjoy. And God help the kids out there, the small children, teenagers, even in your 20s. God help you if you are living through this time on social media. I don't know how you're doing it. I think it's got to I think it has to be really rough on a lot of young people. So, and Willie says, yeah, I got into the internet and technology very early. It has its positives and negatives for sure. So, yeah. God bless you if you make it out. So, okay, we got this print button figured out. So if you knew what was going on and you were yelling at your screen, I'm sorry, I apologize. It's just how it is sometimes. So where's our blog? Here's our blog page. Let's write a media query we don't need to do very much for our print right here. Print. Is that how it's supposed to look? At media print, yep. So for our body, I kind of like what we did here, where we just change everything to a nice basic font stack. So I think we're going to end up using some of these. And then, yeah, I think this is a good idea. So we're going to change all paragraph tags to a font size of 1 rem, because right now those sizes are clamped. We're going to change our links to a black. I think that's a good idea. And then we're going to hide the header and the footer. So let's do that right here. So the header and the footer are just going to be display none. Those do not need to be displayed or printed. And let's see where we're at so far. I mean, honestly, there's not that much to do here. I think we just need to hide this. So what is that? What is the class name for that? I know it's a nav item, social sharing. So we're going to hide this too. I don't think there's that much more for us to do, because everything else would be controlled by the person doing the printing. So this person, whoever this is, they can change everything to black and white on their own or color. They can control their margins themselves. So I don't think we need to do anything with the margins or the width. Yeah, I don't think there's that much for us to do here. So some very basic print styles. Let's scroll through and see what other print styles we had here. They were very specific to the design. Yeah, there's really not that much more for us to do here. Nice. Close these. Well, that was easy. Should I could print it out. Should I actually print it out? No, we don't need to print it out. Everybody's seen a printout, Angela. You don't have to print it out. Okay, well, there's our print styles. I thought that was going to take a lot longer. And Rayhan says, I love this little community that we have in live chat. Well, I do too. And nobody complains about my unsolicited life advice. So I guess that means that you want to hear what I think. Okay, we don't need ChatGPT anymore. We figured it out. Let's wire these up. So I was thinking about the best way to approach this yesterday. So if we look at what these links actually consist of, what do we need? So number one, we need the URL. So we've kind of got this here. I copied this over from the previous project where I had worked on this, which is just window location href. We want to make sure that we're encoding the URL. But I think ChatGPT told us yesterday, we also need to encode the text, which basically means, so you can see here, the %20. That's like the encoding for a space, right? So we would expect to see in between here %20. So let's look at encode URI. Is there an encode for text? MDN encode URI. The encode URI function encodes a URI by replacing each instance of certain characters by 1, 2, 3, or 4 escape sequences representing the UTF-8 encoding of the character. Will only be 4 escape sequences for characters composed of 2 surrogate characters. I don't know what that means. Compared to encode URI component, so this just says a string to be encoded as a URI. Okay, can we define URI? Uniform Resource Identifier is a string that refers to a resource. The most common are URLs. So here's my question. Can we encode URI text? Are you allowed to do that? Just like the titles. Oh, we have to use, wait a second. So should we be using, oh, we can use encode URI. Yeah, right up here. So you can use a string, just a normal string. I think you can use, we're gonna try this. We're just gonna try encode URI for everything, for all the strings. Okay. So the URLs and the titles, we also have a link, and the links need to be absolute links, but we only need an absolute link for the Pinterest link. So I was thinking, what is the best way to get the URL that you would share for a blog? I think you could assume, so let's talk about what makes up a blog, or I'm going to talk about what I think is like the anatomy of a blog, which is that you have a featured image and then you have text. You may have additional images inside the text, but if we're talking about WordPress specifically, if you're constructing a WordPress post on the back end, there's always that spot for a featured image, and your blog has like that main primary image. So let's just do this like, so we want to basically find the first image on the page. We're going to make the assumption that it's the first image on the page is the featured image. That's what you would be sharing on Pinterest. So let's just make an array of all the images on the page and just get the first image as the featured image that would be shared as part of the Pinterest link. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me. So we would be building an array of all images. So that would be if you put additional images in your blog post, which is totally normal, but we just grab the first one in the index. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And we only have to do that for the Pinterest link. Everything else is just the title and the href of the page. And we're going to make sure that we do the title and the, we're going to do, well, the title, we're going to do the title and the URL. We'll do both URLs and the title. We'll do the encode. We'll do encode URI. So we would have the URL, we would have the title, which would be, okay, well, let's just copy this over to our JavaScript. We don't need this. Let's open this. It's over here. Okay. So this will be the sharing function. Sharing icons. So bear with me. This is me practicing. So it's anybody's guess how long this is going to take. Okay. I copy this in. So the title is going to be, I feel like we could just get the H1. There should only be one H1 on the page. So the title is going to be the H1. Probably it would be best to just get the primary heading. So the title is going to be the document query selector, and then the title is going to be title, wait a second. title equals title text content, right? So there's our URL. And then we could say const title encode equals encode URI title text content. Yeah. I don't think we're going to need this. That's left over from my old component. So there's the URL, the title, and then the image. It's going to be images equals document query selector all, and it's just going to get all the image tags. Well, it's that, right? Yep. And then images for each image. Oh. Oh, one moment. Hold, please. You know, do I have to for each through these, or can I just do this? Image encode equals encode URI images. Can't I just do that? Just get the first one? Okay, let's see if I got any of this right. Console log encode URL. Encode title encode. Image encode. So this is get the URL, get the, whoops. Never going to get better at JavaScript if I'm not practicing. And I do not practice enough because it makes me so nervous to do it, and I hate using ChatGPT for everything. So okay, so let's see if I got this right. Oh, we're so close. Image is not defined. Let's see here. Oh. Oh, we want the, hang on. We want the image href, right? Or source. Is that how I do it? Okay, we're really close. Hang on. Image, wait, how do you do this? How do you get the Hang on. We just did this on the responsive video gallery. So we're getting the image attribute. I need the image attribute source. How do I do that? JavaScript get image source. So can I just do source? Wait a second. Just .src? Is that what I do? Undefined. Image. Oh, here, image. Image. Get attribute source. Get attribute source. Image equals. What am I doing wrong? I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT again for help. Well, what happens if I is this not how you get? Hang on. Okay. I'm going to ask for help. Is this the right way to do this? Not quite. Okay, so that's right. If image source, okay. That's the clean version. If you truly want the featured image, don't grab all image tags. That's brittle. Be specific. If it has a class, all right, that's fair. What is this right here? What is this sass? You're a front-end dev. Don't rely on first image in the DOM unless that's intentional. That's a little harsh. ChatGPT. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Okay, there's nothing wrong with grabbing the first image in the DOM if that's your intent. Sometimes that's exactly the right move, especially in a controlled layout like a blog template. Okay. I pay good money for ChatGPT. Okay. We'll just do this. So we'll do this. There we go. But it needs to be an absolute path. It can't be relative. That's the other thing. So how do we want to do that? We need to combine the URLs. Okay, we can do that. Window, location. So we would just want to make sure that we don't want the href because we're on the blog page, and the image is not in the blog directory. It's in the images directory. So we need to remove this ... Should we just make sure that, but we have a different, we do that because it is a relative path locally compared to on the server. So this is getting literally the source string, not what the actual path is, right? Okay, I have to think about this. So we need to do you see how weirdly complicated these things get sometimes? So we have to split off these ... and add the host, right? Or the origin. The origin. Okay. How do you split something off at the beginning instead of at the end? Or do you use like a regex to pull those off? Okay. My image needs to be an absolute path. Use new URL with window location origin. So we need the absolute URL, which is a new URL, image, get attribute source, window location origin, href. That converts this to this. Oh, interesting. Automatically. Oh, this is already absolute? Which is exactly what you guys are telling me to do. If you want the full path, then try doing image source instead of getting attribute source. Okay, it's a process. Let me get there, but also thank you. So we don't need this. We just need this. There we go. It's all part of learning. So if you're frustrated that I'm not paying attention to you in the chat, or that I'm not immediately doing what you're telling me to do, it's a learning process. I'm figuring it out, okay? And thank you. Okay, so we have all the things that we need. Everything is encoded. So now I'm going to comment those out. How do we need this to look now? So I feel like we don't need to create the anchor element. We just need to add the href. So I feel like, do we leave the href here like this, or do we actually take the attribute out? And here's for LinkedIn. And here's for the email. And we're going to leave the print. The print is exactly where it should be. Yeah, we can leave this just like that, right? Let me look back here at this. So we're just going to set the attribute href and build out these things, right? Yes. So we're getting the sharing icon, but we have to get the individual items. Okay, so we're going to have to define the individual items. No problem. Okay. Can we put this down here maybe? There we go. So we've got Facebook, X, Pinterest. And email. We'll give that its own class. Okay, and I think all we have to do is set the attribute, right? And then this would just be title encode. Yeah? Or no, hang on, URL encode, not the title. Encode URL. I think so. Should we see if that actually works? Oh, it's already. That should work, right? Yep, look at that. That works. Can you see it down there in the corner? We're just local, so it happens to have the URL of the local host. Yes, it's working. I gotta do this more. I have to do this more in my live streams. I just have to. I'm not doing this enough because I'm scared all the time of looking stupid. And I have to get over that. I have to not worry about that. And I just have to do this. Because I'm never going to get better at JavaScript. Not even like trying to be a master. Just trying to be slightly better. That's it. Okay, so this would be the title right here. I think that these are just separated by a space. So this would be the title encode, and then this would just be the URL. There we go. Let's see here. We should be able to see that too. There it is. You can kind of see it down there. I'll hover on it again. Can you see it down there in the corner? Nice. I love it. I love it. Okay, what's next? Pinterest. This is so exciting. And Rahul says you can also do facebook.href. Oh, since it's already, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Facebook.href as well instead of set attribute. Okay, we'll try it right here. Attribute equals. And for the Pinterest, there's a title and a description, and I'm going to use the title for both. So here's our URL. And then here's our media. Oh, whoops. Image encode right here. And then here's our description. I'm just going to use the title. Image encode is out of scope. Why would it be out of scope? Because of this? There, now it's fine. So it just didn't like the if statement. Which couldn't you just do if do I have this right? This is the way, this is like the more modern way to do this. Above this, above the if statement, do let image encode. And what about this? If there's no image, just return. So Rahul is saying above the if statement, do let instead, and inside image encode. Tell me if this is okay. I think this looks okay. It's working now. Yeah, that works too. Good. Okay, so I think we can tidy these up a little bit. Thank you, Rahul, our resident JavaScript person. Okay. We're almost done. And this one just has a URL. Whoops. What did I just do here? What don't you like here? Did I spell something wrong? I feel like I spelled something wrong, but I don't think so. have more than one LinkedIn class? No. What don't you like? Oh, I don't have a... There we go. Okay. That was it. That was easy. All right, that works. Email, the last one. All right, so the subject is going to be the title. And then we've got the body, which is also going to be the title. Whoops. And then this. And if we're going to have a space in between here, we might as well just do this, right? Put in our own encoding. And then that's the URL again. Yep, that works. I could see it. So we'll get this pushed up and make sure that it works. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Even the hard parts. Even the hard parts I enjoyed. Yes. Because we're learning. And I love that we're shipping something that isn't just all static. So... And no one says, I still laugh at myself. When I first learned web development, I didn't know the difference between local URL and a hosted URL. After finishing my first website, I sent the local URL to my friend. Happens to the best of us. Yep, I think we got the dot. I got the dot. It's the best. Those are the best mistakes to make, right? When you just forget a dot or a semicolon or a whatever. I think this is exciting to ship something that is not just all static. I need to do more of this. So, and I guess we could do this, right? If there's no title, return. There's going to be a URL. There should be a title, but I guess those two things work, right? Technically, we would want to do the title after the image because the image comes first in the DOM. And I'm going to take these out. All right. Let's go ahead and deploy this and then we can test it. And then we'll do a nice thorough QA on mobile. That went a lot better than I thought it was going to. So that means then that Tuesday will be our deployment day. So I'm finishing up we've done a couple virtual host deployments. So if you've been here for any of the deployment content, we have Angela, one thing at a time. We have a URL called practice layouts. Hang on. I can't talk and work at the same time. Sharing JS. Okay. So we have this website called practice layouts. which doesn't have anything right now. It just has a word, practice layouts, but we've been deploying as subdomains, adding virtual hosts to a droplet on DigitalOcean. So we've got coffee.practicelayouts. We've got, I think we have ocean.practicelayouts.com. What else do we have? I feel like we've deployed a couple of things. I don't remember what all they are. Where's our GitHub? Oh, I think Italia, right? Yeah, Italia.practicelayouts. So I'm in the process. I haven't written the documentation for adding a virtual host, and this is literally going to be like our third deployment video doing a virtual host. So I will have that finished by Tuesday. We'll go ahead and get this added. We'll go ahead and get Scenic added to the practice layouts domain as a subdomain. I will finish the documentation, and then I think it would, because I don't think it's going to take 2 hours, I think it would actually be a good idea to go through all of the projects that we've done in the last year and do a virtual host and get all of them deployed to practice layouts as a subdomain. I think that that would be a good exercise. Even if we can't do them all this week, maybe every time we deploy a new project, we go back in the archive and we find one that needs to be deployed and we do that one too. And then eventually they'll all be deployed, right? And let me see here. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Rahul says, I have a genuine question. Why not just use encode URI when setting facebook.href HTTPS instead of calling it twice earlier so that we won't have to encode the space ourselves? It came in mind when you said, let's encode the space ourselves. I am nitpicking everything. Okay, let me understand your question here. Why not just use encode URI when setting facebook.href equals HTTPS instead of calling it twice earlier? I don't know. I don't think that there's, so first of all, I don't think I'm an experienced enough JavaScript user to say one method is better or worse, or one method is more efficient or not efficient. That's my best answer. Probably what you're saying would also work. I'm looking at this and I'm like really proud of myself. I'm extremely pleased with myself that this is working and feels somewhat efficient. So, one moment. Hold, please. Okay, so I think what you're saying is, I needed a second to think about it. So I think that what you're saying is, that we could do so instead of this, we would say encode URI, and then we would just do URL. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that makes sense to me. And then we wouldn't need this, right? And we wouldn't need this. And we wouldn't need this. We would just have to remember text content. Hang on. Yeah, that does make sense to me. Yeah, I think I removed it. Oh, right here. I missed one. All right, let's see. Yep, that one works. That one works. This one does not work for the image. That does not work for the image. Oh, because we needed to, it needs to be image.source, that's why. There we go. And then everything else works. Here's LinkedIn. That works. Here's our email. That works. And of course our print works. Nice. That was good. That was a good one. I love this. I love this. Okay, let's get this, let's update Git and get this deployed. And then we can test. Updating the social sharing encode. Whoops, don't need that. I love it. Okay, let me get my phone out. We'll give this a minute to percolate. Hey, do me a favor, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like the video, like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, it helps me out, it helps push this out to more people who might be interested in this type of content, and I surely do appreciate it. We are very close to 2,000 subscribers. We are small but mighty here at HQ. We are small but mighty. And yeah, it's going swimmingly. Who wouldn't love to wake up someday and see 10,000 new subscribers? I don't think that's going to happen. But every time I stream, every time I post a new video, we get more subs, we get more likes, we get more follows, things like that. So it's all you can ask for, right? Also, follow me over on Instagram. I would say that my Instagram content is dev adjacent lifestyle content. So follow me if you are hanging out over on Instagram, or if you want to, if you have a question, you can just send me a DM. You will find me there. Okay, let's see here. All right, there we go. And I followed your channel for about a month, and this day I can finally be able to watch your video without college training pressure. And are you going to go live again next Saturday? So Rahul is right. Why wait till Saturday? I'm here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. I stream 4 days a week at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So I'm here. I'm always here. I'm always here. And if you have questions about anything development related, you can always send me an email, send me a DM on Instagram. Yeah, I'm around. I'm not going anywhere. What else? I have got nothing else to do. So, okay. So I think that this looks great. I'm totally happy with this. It's funny, the background, our faux parallax doesn't work on mobile, and I feel like I knew that background attachment fixed doesn't work on mobile. So I feel like I did know that. I don't love this. I don't love how this is styled, but I have to let it go because perfect, wait, what's the saying? Perfect is the enemy of done. Nothing is ever perfect, but we got to get it done and we got to get it deployed. So I think this looks great. I'm happy with this. Let's look at the page. I love our animation. Everything looks good. All right. Oh, your college is conducting some training, so it's hard. So is that the reason why you can't join us during the week? I mean, the videos are always, all the live streams are available as a replay. So, all right. So I don't have most of these things installed on my phone. I mean, the only social media that I have installed on my phone is X and Instagram. I don't have Facebook, LinkedIn, or Pinterest installed on my phone. So we're going to test those buttons on desktop. Yeah, so let's do that. But this all looks great on mobile. I'm totally happy with that. And of course, we'll go ahead and test everything once we actually deploy to a domain name, a subdomain, right? And Rahul says, the Scenic project when you started looked a little bland. I totally agree. Looking at only the image, but I'll admit now it looks beautiful. You are a front-end guru. Wow. I mean, I think that I can hold my own. I think I can hold my own. I hesitate to call myself a designer, but I probably don't give myself that much credit. It just takes a lot of practice. I mean, in the beginning of my career, I really wanted to be a designer. Like I really wanted to. And my calling is really writing the code, I think. So, okay, let's see here. So let's see, here's the big test. Ooh, look at that. It's working. I'm just checking the text in the lower corner. I should still be logged in to all of the social medias. All right. So we'll check the print first. Beautiful. Gorgeous. And we'll do email. I'm not going to send another email to myself, but this does exactly what I want it to. It puts the cursor in the to, so you would go ahead and fill out who you're emailing this to. The subject is the title of the blog. The body of the email is the title of the blog and the link to the blog. So you can make that whatever you want it to be. You can put in your own text there. It can be whatever you want. This is what I'm choosing as my mail to and my email subject and body. So that's perfect. Then we'll share on LinkedIn. I'm not going to share these again. Perfect. Beautiful. It's putting the link right in there. And then, you know, presumably I would type something. Beautiful. Pinterest. Look at that. Choose a board. I'm not going to share this again. I shared it yesterday. Oh, Pinterest, you're so pretty. Okay. X. Look at that. Loads it right in there. Love it. It's happening on X today. I don't post a lot on X, but it's full of drama. I'm here for it. Okay, what's next? Facebook. Nice. It's loading up our link. Beautiful. And of course, yesterday we did the Facebook debugger, so I showed you how to go through and scrape a URL. So we can delete that draft. So everything is working. Beautiful. Yeah, you can leave. Okay. We love that. We did it. We made dynamic social media buttons, including an email and a print. This is like a comprehensive website. We did open graph meta tags. I'm probably going to, before Tuesday, I will fill in. We basically have our blog all filled in. I will fill in the title, the meta description, and the open graph meta tags on the other pages. I'll do that before Tuesday. And then I really need to do like a deployment checklist, because we're going to, once we get this deployed to scenic.practicelayouts.com, we will want to scrape that page again in the Facebook debugger and then test all of the social sharing links again. And that's really how we're going to know that our open graph meta tags are working correctly. So and And Malik has, Malik started this past week a web design internship, and that's going really well. And Malik says, no pressure to be perfect, just learn and improve. We'll have some opportunities for some web dev assignments down the line. I want to get better at design first. Web design intern and Figma, but what they use on the development side is React, React Native, Tailwind, and Vanilla CSS. They use DigitalOcean too. Nice. So were you able to tell them that you know how to do a lamp stack on DigitalOcean? Also, this is an interesting comment. They use Tailwind and Vanilla CSS. I would love to know more about that and how they're deciding. I would love to know, okay, here's what I would like to know. Do they have a philosophy around vanilla CSS? Like, clearly, I have a strong philosophy about how I think that, let's see here. Oh, looks like, I think, oh, the DigitalOcean video. Okay, Angela, thoughts. Gather yourself. I would like to know what their philosophy is on using vanilla CSS. Like, we all know what my philosophy is, and that I think it's really important, and that everybody, regardless of what framework or library you choose to use, that you still know how to do the core skills. Do they have a philosophy around using vanilla? That's what I would like to know. So, ask. Let us know. Let us know. I think that's great that they use DigitalOcean. Did you tell them that you know how to deploy, set up a lamp stack, and deploy to DigitalOcean? Did you tell them? Were they impressed? I want them to be impressed that you know how to do that. So, I think that's all I have for today. I am kind of shocked that we got this done. And very pleased. Very, very pleased. Look at how cute our JavaScript is. It's so adorable. It's not that crazy. It's not that crazy at all. Yeah, this makes me very, very happy to ship something that's got some dynamic functionality in it. And also now that I'm streaming 4 days a week, we are like blasting through these projects. We're getting like entire sites built. And by entire sites, I mean, 4 pages instead of 1 page. But where it used to take a month to do a 1-page landing page, now we're getting 4 pages done in a couple of weeks, which is crazy. And I know that my JavaScripts, I need more work on my JavaScript. This makes me feel so much more confident about JavaScript. So we need to do more with like APIs and dynamic content. I know that. But also, I like that my builds are static, open source, and that you could take it and do whatever you want with it. I also like that too, because when I was a WordPress developer, I loved buying static builds and then just taking it and doing whatever I wanted with it. And it didn't have a lot of dynamic stuff in it. So I didn't have to mess with that. So. And Malik says, it is pretty much figure it out as you go. Everyone suggests things and learn as they go. No philosophy, but I can ask. I'm just curious. So, yeah, every star aligned. Do I know about Webflow? No, I don't. Is that an official name of something? Malik says, I like that it is pretty much you learn on your own and from others. They also say you have to do some management roles since people cycle in and out every year. So you get a wide range of experiences. That's good. That is very good, Webflow. Webflow, create a custom website, visual website builder. The website experience platform for high-performing brands. With the advent of AI, your brand has never mattered more. A good-looking site isn't enough to stay relevant. You need dynamic digital experiences that resonate with humans and are readable by bots. You need Webflow's AI native website experience platform. So this looks like an AI tool for building websites. I mean, yeah, more and more stuff is going to start to pop up like this. Drag and drop. This is the reason why I stopped building WordPress themes. It was because everything on the back end was drag and drop. So, yeah, I mean, I get that these things, that more and more people are going to be using these things with AI getting as good as it is getting building websites and doing coding. I still think we need humans. So I mean, what else am I going to do? This is it, guys. This is what I do. So I'm not afraid to use ChatGPT or use AI when I need help, but I still think humans should be doing the work. So, and Malik says, week 2, things should pick up. I plan to finish my training and then start my design. More updates to come Saturday. I'll do weekly updates. It will help me keep track too. I would just love to know if they have a philosophy around when they use Tailwind, when they use vanilla. I would be interested to know that. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it. Do me a favor, like the video if you haven't yet. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Helps the algorithm, helps me push this out to more people who might be interested in this type of content. Come find me on Instagram if you hang out over there. I'm scrolling reels pretty much every single day. I'm a doom scroller and I love it. I have no shame. So, and Rahul says, Webflow is not AI, maybe integrated. It's a website builder just like Dreamweaver, but it is used mainly to create creative websites. Okay, just like the ones on the awards, the dub awards. The website awards. Site of the day. I don't think I'm cool enough for stuff like this. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't look at things like this because it gives me anxiety, because it causes me to just like compare myself and feel inadequate, and I don't like feeling like that. So I tend to avoid some of this stuff. And I look at this and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not one of the cool kids. Learn UI design with Figma. Okay. Oh, you can't see what I'm seeing. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I didn't have that pulled up. And I am new to this. I can get any scoped job in web development. I am from AI DS engineering side, but an average or below student. So I think I am new to this. Is I can get any scope or job in web development. So I think you're asking, are you going to be able to get a job in web development? I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. I think the field is tight right now because lots of companies were laying off really experienced developers. So I think it's tough to get a job right now. It depends on where you live. It depends on your experience. Listen, I am also an average student. I was not a stellar student. I didn't do well taking tests. I completed my assignments. I showed up for class, but I didn't do well with test taking. But I'm a decent problem solver. I start and I finish projects, and those are the things that really matter. Also, work on your soft skills. Are you a good communicator? Are you the type of person that someone likes to work with? Because I will say this, learn to play the corporate game. That is a huge part of getting and keeping a job, right? So, oh, interesting. So, Code Grid on YouTube. Let's see here. Interactive parallax SVG background. I should watch this. An interactive SVG flat background that refuses to stay flat. Parallax effect. I should watch that. Landon Norris. Let's see here. Lando Norris. Yeah, this is the stuff where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely not cool enough to be a web developer. Definitely not cool enough to be in this business. I mean, I like this effect where on scroll, but it seems to be kind of like a one-way thing. Like once it happens, it's not like it backs up, right? The slider does. This is too fancy for me. This website was viral in the creative dev community. It's too fancy for me. Sorry. It's too fancy for me. I'm just not a fancy gal. So, all right. What do we think? Come back on Tuesday. We'll go ahead and deploy our Scenic site. We'll do a couple of deployments and I'll make sure I get my documentation done. So, and then I have to figure out what we're going to do next. I have no idea. Not a clue. Haven't even thought about it. So, everybody, have a great rest of your day wherever you are, and I will see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.